So with us today to tell us more is Kimberly Beck with Arms Wide Adoption Services. Thank you for joining us, Kimberly.
Thank you.
So first and foremost, we've heard a lot about adoption and fostering. Can you tell us the difference between the two?
Sure. So in order for a child to be eligible to be adopted, the parental rights of the biological parents need to be terminated by the courts. So that usually takes several years for most cases, but it is case-by-case situation. But foster care is a temporary situation while a permanency plan is being decided, and adoption is forever. So that's pretty much the difference.
Okay, cool. So for someone who wants to adopt, I've heard stories of this being something that takes years, and for some people, something that seems like a pretty quick process. What are the steps to adopt somebody?
Yeah, so for foster care adoption, the process is extensive for our families, but it's very, very, very important for us to be able to assess that our family is able to parent a child of trauma, which can be different from parenting a biological child. So there's an extensive training process, and we try and give them the techniques and the parenting skills to parent a child of trauma, because these kids in foster care have been through a lot of trauma, abuse, loss, grief. And so it's a different mindset that you have to go into in parenting them.
All right. And in the event that there is somebody who isn't able to have their own children that wants to provide a life for these foster kids, tell me, what are we looking at expense-wise to go through the process? And of course, we can assume what it costs to raise a child that isn't cheap. But what does the process of adopting look like?
Yeah, so the actual adoption is no cost to the families. They do endure some small costs just to make sure that their home is in compliance, and it is case by case, but a lot of times it's maybe they need a fire extinguisher or something like that, so it's very minimal costs. But as far as the actual adoption, it's no cost to the families. And we, Arms Wide, just like many other agencies, are a nonprofit organization, so our funding comes from the state and private donors and grant-based to keep those costs at no cost to the family.
Wonderful. Well, that's good to know. And just one more reason to consider adopting and giving one of these children a loving and caring home. Now, of course, not everything is rainbows and sunshine. What are some pros and cons we want to consider when we are looking into adopting a child?
Sure. I think it's important to remember that these children are unable to be cared for by their biological family, and that they have gone through a lot of trauma, loss, and abuse. And so that's definitely the con. But the pro is that a family adopting them is going to give them stability forever, and give them the safety that they deserve as children.
Wonderful advice. Now, I'm sure there are a few people watching that may have more questions. This might be something that's been heavy on their heart. And with the holidays around the corner, who wouldn't want to be able to provide a loving home for a child and give them that experience? Where can we go for more information if we're considering adopting or fostering a child?
Sure. You can go to our website, which is armswide.org. You can also go to the DFPS website to get more interest about foster care and adoption, and have more information on that.
Perfect. Well, thank you for helping us raise awareness for National Adoption Day. It certainly is a blessing for the child and the parent involved, and we hope that we're inspiring someone today to go ahead and go for it and give somebody a loving and caring home. Kimberly, thank you for everything you do and for the time that you gave us today.